Шановні колеги, будемо продовжувати роботу. Тема наступної події – фонд гарантування.
We continue our working day. Now we are going to speak about Deposit Guarantee Fund start selling all assets of insolvent banks. Our guests are Maksym Nefyodov, Deputy Minister of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine, Yuliya Bereschenko, Director of Department on Unified Sales and Management of Assets, and Evgeny Bilak, Transparency International, and Oleksiy Sobolev, Director of Project Office ProZorro.Sale. First, Oleksiy is given the floor. Good afternoon. I will be a moderator of today's discussion. Deposit Guarantee Fund announced that the Directorate took decision that all selling will be done through ProZorro.Sale system, and we will ask Maksym Nefyodov to tell us about it in more detail. Good afternoon, everyone. I believe that in order to achieve new results, we should do differently. We should propose new approach, new technology that allow to efficiently change and improve quality. I believe in open data in IT solutions because they help to solve many problems. The problem of inefficiency, asymmetry of data, when someone knows and someone else does not. And also they help to solve issues concerning low quality of services and interaction between public and the state. And we created ProZorro system for state procurement, and we are glad to spread this solution, both technological solution that has good recommendations and also general philosophy that I described, the philosophy of cooperation between the state, business, and civil society philosophy that everyone sees everything. So full transparency to spread these solutions to any other area where it is appropriate. So this is not magic or some single solution for all situations in the country, but for some class of problem, the solution really works well. And this year we were awarded, well, procurement award 2016 in the area of state finances. We got recently award in Paris, OGP, a summit of open partnership. This is the biggest organization that unites more than 70 countries in cooperation between government and businesses and civil society. And we are recommended by EBRD, and so this is external support that philosophy and technology that I have mentioned, they really work. Thus, we are really glad that we have successful and fruitful cooperation with the Deposit Guarantee Fund that is now the first who tried and believed in us in this area. And we started a pilot project and went through the stage quickly. We signed memorandum in the middle of summer, and in September we had the working product, and at the start of October we had the presentation for journalists, and in the middle of October we had first real sales. And the overall turnout is more than 35 million hryvnias. That's why I hope that it is only a start, and these figures can look small compared with billions and tens of billions that are in ProZorro procurement system. But I can say that the pace, the rate we have, and number of partners we have with the Deposit Guarantee Fund, it exceeds this rate. So I would like to say that our second approach will be even more successful and resultative than the previous one. Once again, I repeat that we are speaking about billions of funds, taxpayers, for all of us, for those who have deposits in banks that went insolvent, that are in a liquidation state. And the state should transparently organize this process, and thus the less funds will be taken for this from the state budget, so we as taxpayers will benefit from this. This is one of the macroeconomic reforms that can have effect on economic development. That's why I would like to thank once again all those who are involved in this, the Deposit Guarantee Fund for their trust, and to thank our project team that really worked days and nights and during holidays in order to achieve results. And it is always look good in Facebook, and you know that a lot of hard work and argument are involved, and also many meetings were held, so everything that is a mechanism of this reform. Thank you very much, and I hope that next year we will gather and report about sales, about thousands of facilities that will be sold and will present good data. Okay, Bereschenko is given the floor. Director of Department on Unified Sales and Management of Assets, Deposit Guarantee Funds for Individuals, and further steps and the aims of the reform.
I will tell in brief. I would like to remind you that the transfer of all assets to ProZorro system, this was a decision made along with creditors of banks. We should protect interests of creditors to get the highest prices, maximum prices from sales of assets of insolvent banks. And after this work, our creditors could compare the sales of assets via ProZorro and without it. Nadra, Finansova Initiativa, and other banks, a total of 6 banks, they observed how the assets are sold via ProZorro system, and after that they applied to us asking to sell all assets via the ProZorro.Sale system. And so it was logical that all assets should be transferred to the process of sales via ProZorro system. I would like to remind you, at last briefing I told it was very important for CITAM, and this is a trading platform from which seized property items are sold. It also should be connected to the ProZorro system, because we sell loans and the security pledged for such loans. If we at the same time try to sell the security, CITAM also has monopolistic right on it, so we will initiate, and we hope for support from the Minister of Economic Development on the level of the Cabinet of Ministers to form the work group so that CITAM is connected to ProZorro system, and we have absolutely fair system of selling both loans and the pledge, the security which fills these assets, is the main source of filling the assets. I would like to tell you about the structure of the system. We have 12 platforms working with the system, and more than 1,000 different lots are posted in the system. We traded for 35 million hryvnias already. The price is increased by 10% on average during several months of our work, and we have model business of analytical data where any person can see what assets, what bank, what platform is selling. It is bi.sales electronic address, and you can choose the platform where you can buy assets, and I give the floor to project manager of Transparency International, Mr. Yaroslav Yurchyshyn. I would like to thank for transferring all sales of deposit guarantee fund to our platform. We are very thankful. I would like to mention that the main interest of TI Ukraine is transparency. The foundation, the basis is everyone should see everything. This statistical data is available and accessible for the public, for the general public, and I call on journalists and activists to monitor the data because the system itself can't overcome corruption. Only people can do that. I would like to comment on the project. They would be interesting for everyone. We are building an ecosystem of public sales in Ukraine, and in contrast to procurement, we do not have framework law, and every governmental authority has its own policy of selling assets, and we would like to find the most efficient way and also to create the entire system, ecosystem of assets selling in Ukraine. And we have also innovative projects of global potential in our portfolio. The whole world focuses attention on realizing the service of procurement. We created a new CPV classifier of procurement. We had to create it because it was just unavailable. There were no such classifier at all. So what we are doing here, it would be also useful for other countries. So I hope that ProZorro.Sale will go global. My last comment is that after this successful pilot project with the Deposit Guarantee Fund, I hope that other governmental bodies will be willing to join the system, which demonstrated its full readiness. So I call on other governmental authorities to join the reform. Thank you. We have 5 minutes for the questions from the audience. Colleagues, do you have any questions? There are no questions. Oh, we have one. Just a minute. A question to TI Executive Director, with which governmental bodies you now discuss the opportunities to connect to the system of ProZorro.Sale. We had contacts, and we have the work group created with the Property Fund of Ukraine, State Property Fund of Ukraine, on small assets and on non-profile assets and written-off assets, and also on renting. And we also would like to work with the Ministry of Justice on selling the assets which they have, and we are now in the process of creating the work group on this issue. Colleagues, We have no more questions. Thank you. We will be glad to see